Oh, hey team, Rosa Friesen here. So excited to chat with you guys today. This has been a while in the making, and I called it Take Charge of Your Life. I'm such a believer that we all have it in us to change our lives and to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish and to be the people that we know we can be on the inside, to remove the roadblocks that we put on ourselves. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you guys not only a bit about my story and how I changed my life, but also real strategies that you can implement, like real strategies that you can start working on right now to make some changes. So I'm just going to refresh my page a little bit here so that I can make sure that I am getting questions as they come in. And we will get started in just a minute here. I'm going to wait for a couple more people to hop on and we'll get started. I'm not actually seeing the live video on here. There it is. Okay, awesome. Here we go. So again, my name is Rosa Friesen and I started my fitness journey when I was, I think, 20 years old. That's when I really started my fitness journey. I had a doctor's appointment and I went in and I just said, like, I keep gaining weight. I'm not sure what's going on. I seem to try harder to eat healthier than my friends do, and I move my body more often, but I keep gaining weight. And what my doctor said at that point in time was, you're just genetically predisposed to being overweight. I had PCOS and hypothyroid, and leaving that doctor's appointment, I just felt so discouraged because, to be honest, what I was looking for was a quick fix. I was looking for him to give me a solution, to write me a prescription that was going to solve all my fitness problems, and when that didn't happen, I was not only disappointed, I felt hopeless. I felt like, okay, I guess this is it. He actually said, you should be thankful that you're not more overweight than you are right now. So after that appointment, I just realized, all of a sudden, that I alone own my fitness journey. And I'm not going to let somebody tell me, not even my doctor at the time, this is a long time ago, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what my life is supposed to look like and that I'm just going to be overweight. And at that point in time, I decided I'm going to do whatever it takes, I'm going to do whatever necessary to make these changes, because I know myself and I know that I wasn't meant to live that low on energy. I know that I wasn't meant to live feeling so insecure about myself. And so, hey Melissa, and so I decided I'm going to take this into my own hands and I'm going to do everything that I can. Also around that time, my husband and I got married. We were high school sweethearts. We got married when we were 18, just a couple of months out of high school. And I know what it is to be broke. We know what it is to be broke and to choose which bills to pay. It was around that time that I also realized that our financial well-being was really going to be up to us as well, and that if anybody was going to change it, it was going to have to be us. So taking charge of your life to me means taking 100% responsibility for what the situation is, for the results that we're not getting that we want to have, to be more fit, to get out of debt maybe, to have a closer relationship with your partner, to have better relationships with your friends and your family. It means taking stock of all the things that you want in your life that you don't have, and building a strategy, which I'm going to help you with, building a strategy to get there in all those areas of your life. So I've got some resources for you guys that I'm happy to send out, some PDFs that are going to help you with the steps that I talked to you about. But before we go there, I just want to say something that's really hit me over the last week. If you've been following my page and following my posts, you'll see that over the last week, it's been the most difficult week in my own life. My sister was diagnosed with a pretty aggressive form of cancer, and it rocked all of us for sure. But over time, as I was getting over the shock of the news and preparing to help her fight this thing, what I realized is that especially over the last 4 years, as I've made the decision every single day to take charge of my life, to take charge of my fitness, my well-being, in terms of my physical body, emotional health, mental health, financial well-being, what I realized is that the last 4 years of taking charge of my life has prepared me to deal with this situation in a much bigger and better way than I otherwise would have been able to. I never would have had the opportunity to just fly across the country and to be there for a week. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to support my sister like I want to if it hadn't been for the fact that I've been preparing for 4 years by taking charge. So I'm going to go through 7 steps for you in terms of how do you actually do this? How do you actually build a plan? How do you actually strategize this? And as I go through, feel free to ask any questions below. I will reply to all of your questions, and if I don't get to them until the end, just hang on a few minutes. I will get to them for sure. Okay. So step 1 of taking charge of any area in your life where you want something more than you have, you want something different than what you have. Step 1, and there are always going to be a few in everybody's life, right? And you're not there yet. I always say, I've just upgraded my problems. Everybody has problems. It's a fact of life. I've upgraded my problems over the last 4 years, but now I have the tools and I have the strategy to be able to make changes whenever I see that there need to be changes made. So number 1 is taking inventory of the results that you want but aren't getting. So that means looking at your life holistically, looking at your relationships, if you have a significant other, your relationships with your kids, your family, your friends, looking at your fitness journey and like really being honest with yourself about what it is that you want and not feeling guilty for wanting it. I feel like that's a really common thing with women, especially. Women tend to take care of everybody else first. They take care of their career first. They take care of their family first. They take care of everybody else first and tend to feel guilty for wanting something for themselves. So taking a really honest inventory about what it is that you want in your life, what it is that you want changed, what goals that you would have if you didn't feel bad about having them. And actually writing those down in detail. Writing things down, especially with women, sometimes the more we talk things out or write things down, the more we can clarify in our own minds what it is that we think. That's the case with me anyway. If I talk to somebody or if I write down my thoughts, it really helps me to clarify what I actually think instead of just letting it ruminate in my brain. Step 2 is to see it how it is. What I mean by that is take your goal. For example, if it's a fitness goal, take that goal, that honest goal that you have, and look at the excuses that you're making. Look at the excuses you're making. Look at what it's costing you also. What is it costing you not to make progress in this arena? And this is something that we tend to push to the back of our minds. We don't want to think about what it's costing us not to make progress, whether that's in your fitness journey or relationships or financially. We don't want to look at that and take that honest inventory because it's painful. So what I'm asking you to do is to actually dig into that. Like really dig into that and look at all possible excuses you might be making. I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, etc., or it's their fault, it's not my fault. Though, just get really, brutally honest with yourself, see the situation for what it is. One of the things that I do in my fitness journey is I take before photos. And anytime I've got goals and I'm not where I want to be for whatever reason, I take before photos and measurements and weight. And I take stock of the situation exactly as it is. And I'm really honest with myself. What am I not doing that I should be doing? What am I doing, eating too many salt and vinegar chips, for example, that I shouldn't be doing? So really dig into that and write down for each goal that you have, each category that you have, write down what those excuses are that you're continually using for yourself. Number three is way more fun than number two. Numbers 1 and 2, when you're writing down the areas where you're not accomplishing what you want to accomplish, and then looking at the excuses that you're making, that's not fun. But it's necessary. It's necessary to actually get to that next level. Step 3 is to see it better than it is. In other words, to see and visualize your goals as if you've already accomplished them. What is it going to feel like? What is it going to give you that you don't have right now? How is it going to change your relationships? How is it going to change your sleep? How is it going to change your level of stress? See it better than it is and visualize what it's going to be like when you actually hit that goal, and really make it real and feel the emotions of what that would feel like. The reason this step is crucial is for this reason. Most people, when they set a goal for their lives, most people are running away from what they don't want. So, for example, if you take stock and you realize we're spending more money than what we make every single month, and we're getting further and further and further into debt, and then you decide you're going to do a budget and you're going to change some things, you're going to cut out some expenses, as soon as you start making progress, in a lot of cases, as soon as we start making progress, the pain that was driving us starts to diminish, and then we fall back into old habits. The same is true for fitness. It's so important to visualize what it is that you actually want and to be running toward something that you want instead of running away from something that you don't want. It is so much more powerful. Because this way, if you're running toward something, the picture gets brighter and clearer as you're running toward it. Whereas, say in your fitness journey, for example, this is why so many people, they'll start a fitness journey because their pants don't fit. Or they'll start a fitness journey because they saw pictures of themselves on vacation and they're like, whoa, I can't believe that I let it get this far. I have been there. I have so been there. And then as you start to make progress, the pain that drove you starts to diminish, and then you fall back into old habits and find yourself in the same place that you were originally. So step 3 is so very important, that you have a strong vision and you're feeling the emotions connected to these goals that you want to accomplish, so that you've got something that you're running toward instead of just something that you're running away from. Again, I'll mention for the new people who have joined us that I will be sending out a free resource for any of you who are looking to really make a clear-cut strategy for these goals that you're setting. Number 4 is to write down all possible goals that you might have. So write down, maybe you've got 10 goals in your life. Maybe you've got 20 goals in your life. Write down any and all of the goals that you want to accomplish at some point. Don't overthink it. Just start writing and let yourself write until you've run out of ideas. You don't want to overwhelm yourself by pursuing 20 different goals though, right? You can't put your attention in that many different places. So the best thing that you could do is to look at these goals and find out which goals, anywhere from 1 goal to 3 goals, no more than 3, that are going to help you in every other area that you want to make progress. So for example, if you have relationship goals and financial goals and fitness goals, and then you might have some sub goals, get your nutrition under control, start working out 5 days a week, etc., etc., choose 1 to 3 that are going to help you toward every other goal. I think if you do have fitness goals, that nutrition is the most important part, because longevity in a health and fitness journey has everything to do with what you're putting in your body. So maybe to have more energy for your relationships, maybe for nighttime cardio, who knows? Maybe you want to choose nutrition because that's going to improve everything else in your life. That's going to make you more patient. That's going to give you more energy, etc. So choose the 1 to 3 that are going to make most impact, give you the most bang for your buck when you're looking at the life change total that you want to experience. Number 5, with those top 1 to 3 goals that you've chosen, it's really important that for each category, you write down all possible strategies, all possible resources that you have at your disposal. So if you're looking at a fitness goal, for example, write down all possible resources. Even if your brain is like, nah, that's not really a good idea, write all of them down, because writing something down is going to give you more ideas and more possible resources that you might have. So for fitness goals, you might look at workouts that you can find on YouTube or on Pinterest or online somewhere. You might look at possibly getting a workout buddy, someone to hold you accountable to work out 3 to 5 days per week with. You might want to look at what resources you could find at your disposal for nutrition. I'm actually going to be posting next week a 5-day sugar detox. So that's another example of something that you can get for free online. There are resources all over the place that you can find, even if you're not wanting to pay for a gym membership or something like that. Write down all resources at your disposal. If you've got financial goals, for example, you can find podcasts. There are tons of podcasts talking about how to do a household budget. A strategy that I have used in the past in terms of my financial goals is to take a pay cut. And what that means is I take out X number of dollars from my weekly pay as if I'd never been paid that money and put it toward debt. So there are all kinds of things that you could do. There are all kinds of resources that you can find. Maybe you know somebody who's amazing with one of the topics or one of the goals that you've set. Maybe you want to talk to that person, and that can be a resource for you as well. So write down all possible resources and strategies that you could use. That doesn't mean you're going to use all of them, but just get them all out of your brain for each of the 1 to 3 goals that you've chosen. Number 6 is to actually narrow it down and find the strategies that are going to give you the most bang for your buck and that are the most feasible for you in your life. And then here's the important part. Take out your calendar and schedule them. Put reminders in your phone for the things that you are going to do. Because it's great to write all of these things down, but if you're not actually making a plan for the days that you're going to be using these strategies, the days that you're going to be working out, the day that you're going to be doing meal prep, if that's one of your strategies, for example, if you don't actually make a plan with dates and times and actual, tasks for specific days, it just remains a theory, and that would be nice to do at some point. So step 6 is to actually choose the strategy. And you know what? It's so easy to overthink this stuff, especially when it comes to fitness goals. It's so easy to overthink this stuff and get overwhelmed with all the possible options. Start simple. Just start simple. Think of something that you can do right now and start with that, because progress always begets progress. Progress always begets progress. So start simple. Start with something that you can do and that you can do right now. Once you've scheduled these things into your calendar, it's time to actually get accountable. Find somebody. Maybe for your budget, your accountability person is your partner. Maybe for your fitness, your accountability person is going to be a friend or a fitness coach if you have one. But get accountable for these goals. I'm telling you guys, seriously, the best thing that I ever did for my fitness goals was to post my before pictures on Facebook. Like, for realsies, there is no accountability like sharing where you are and what your goals are. And if that is not your thing, then send your before pictures to your best friend or your mom or somebody and just say out loud what your goals are. Get accountable and have somebody that you're checking in with on a weekly or a monthly basis, and maybe you can do the same for them. Number 7, every morning, this is something that I actually recently started doing. Every morning, I take a little notebook and I write down what my top goals are. Because what happens is, and I write the same thing every day for months on end until I've accomplished those goals. But what this does is it's strategic. It's not just a froofy sort of thing. It brings your goals to the forefront of your mind. And then once they're there, you're going to notice as you go through your day, you're going to notice everything possible, everything in that day that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed that is going to help you accomplish that goal. It will stay top of mind for you. Something that's really, really important, that's really changed my life in a big way, is realizing that I can't pour from an empty cup. And willpower is an inexhaustible resource. It really, really is. Any goal that you're setting, any goal that you're going for, you have to realize that willpower is an inexhaustible resource and you can't count on that. In fact, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. I think willpower is largely a myth. People think, well, I don't have the willpower, so I can't. I don't have the willpower, I sporadically have the willpower to accomplish this goal or that goal or the other. And I feel like people are doing themselves a disservice by believing that willpower is required to accomplish a goal. Willpower is something that comes and goes. But if you have an inspiration, if you have that step, I can't remember what step it was, step 3, if you have that strong why, that strong visualization, that place that you're running to instead of somewhere where you're running away from, if you've got that, that's inspiration, and that's different than motivation. It is different. If you've got that accountability in place as well, it makes such a huge difference, because when your motivation is flagging, you can then draw on your inspiration, and how accomplishing these goals is going to change your whole life. So then willpower doesn't matter as much, because you don't feel that you need to have that in order to take the actions required. I always say this to my team and to my challengers: your body doesn't care whether you felt like eating the salad, right? My body doesn't care whether or not I wanted to do that workout. It just responds to the fact that I did or didn't do that workout. So motivation is not a requirement. It's not. It's about having that inspiration, that strong vision, that strong why behind these goals that you want to accomplish, and then having some accountability so that you've got a sounding board and somebody to talk to when you're feeling that motivation flag. I will say though, if you're a real motivation person and you feel like, this is super, super important to get a handle on, motion creates emotion. If you start doing, the emotion is going to follow. If you follow a meal plan for 7 days, you're going to get some results, and you're going to feel the emotion of having gotten those results. So maybe you're going to white knuckle a little bit through that first week, but then you're going to see those results. And results aren't permanent, right? They're not permanent. I think probably everybody in the world who's been on a fitness journey has had the ups and the downs, the best case scenarios, and then coming back down, right? After a vacation, after holidays, etc., etc. I have hormonal issues, so sometimes that plays a part as well. It's not permanent, but if you have these tools in your tool belt, if you know how to set goals and strategize, make plans, and have accountability, if you know how to do that, you can always do that. I do this all the time. I posted a before photo a couple of weeks ago with all kinds of cellulite happening, but it was just, that was my truth at the moment. That was where I was, and I had goals to accomplish, and I followed this exact thing, and I do every time I have a goal, every single time. At first, it's going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much planning. This requires so much effort to actually get my goals out on the table and to get my strategy set up. That's why most people don't do it. But you get better at it. It gets faster. It feels normal. It feels natural. Before I went off on my tangent, I was saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. So it's really, really crucial that in whatever area you want to make progress, whether that's in your fitness journey, whether that is in your relationships or in your financial life, there are resources you can find. There are tons of free resources you can find. On my team, we talk about what we call personal development. And before I started coaching, I was like, I am not going into the self-help section of the bookstore. That is not me. I do not need that. And now I'm so all about it. I listen to podcasts. I buy audiobooks. I watch YouTube videos on anything that's going to give me more strength and more fuel for the journey. I've learned so much when it comes to relationships and fitness and every area of my life by listening to people who have had success in areas that I want to have success. So personal development is something I cannot recommend strongly enough. Find a couple of podcasts that you like that are going to feed your soul and to give you more motivation to get where you want to go. I'm kind of weird when it comes to my personal development. I really like, especially when it comes to fitness, I really like the technical data. So I look for podcasts and books that are going to teach me things about how my body works so that I can take that information and I use it as fuel. Find that thing that you can use as fuel that's going to help you get wherever it is that you want to go in your life. So I'm just going to recap again that I have a resource, a PDF that I can send you that's going to take you through all of these steps that we talked about. It's going to take you through taking stock of your current goals and what they are and being honest with yourself about what you want to achieve in your life, and again, not feeling guilty that you do want to achieve something or that you want something for yourself in your life. It's also going to take you through seeing it how it is, seeing the excuses that you might be making in any of these areas that are holding you back from accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish. Thirdly, seeing it better than it is and really visualizing and feeling what it would feel like to accomplish these goals. Number 4, writing down all of the goals that you have so that you can choose 1 to 3 that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. You don't want to put your attention to 100 different things. You want to choose 1 to 3 goals that are going to help you in all other areas of your life, your 1 to 3 priorities. Number 4, writing down all possible strategies and resources and refining that list into steps that are clear, measurable, that you can start right now. Simple steps that you can start right now. And then scheduling that as well. And then also your goals notebook and affirmations. So that is it, you guys, for my 7 strategies to take charge of your life. If you would like the PDF download, you can send me a private message or you can comment below this video and I will send those to you via private message tomorrow. If you've been following my journey for a while and you're familiar with what it is that I do as a coach, if my story resonates with you specifically, I'm looking for 10 new team members over the next month to mentor in a small group setting. It's going to be focused on your level of fitness, providing you accountability in your fitness journey, the tools that you need in terms of nutrition and workouts. Obviously, this is a business. My coaching business is a business, and so we'll be focused on helping you to grow a business that's going to change your life in whatever capacity you're looking for. And obviously the community. I've been posting quite a bit since my leadership retreat in Mexico about our community and how life-changing it's been to have that support system and these women who are working toward common goals, who have a common purpose. We might be very different, and we are from all different walks of life, but that community to me has been absolutely priceless. So if that's something you'd like more information on, send me a private message or you can definitely comment below as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I can see them on my computer. Danielle, yes, I will send you that PDF for sure. So I'll wait a couple seconds here to see if there are any questions, and if not, I will sign off for the evening. And do look out for my 5-day sugar detox plan happening next week as well. I'll be posting it on my page, and it's a meal plan. It's a very simple meal plan that you can follow to do that 5-day sugar detox. You might, it's gonna walk you through the symptoms you might experience as you're detoxing from sugar. But it's been a pretty powerful tool that I've used in my own fitness journey so many times just to kickstart my results. Okay, that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Wednesday.